Hello and welcome to the Social Recruiting Show with myself, Katrina Collier, and my gorgeous social recruiting specialist friend, Audra Knight. Today, oh dear, you can see this is going to be interesting already. We are honoured. I think honoured. Are we honoured? Well, anyway, we're joined by Steve Levy, Purple Squirrel Hunter, social recruiting god, old school, new school, who knows what he is, who I had the joy of meeting last year at TMA Social Recruiting Conference, arguing with, and now actually counting as a friend. He's going to talk about, oh dear, and pull faces. He's going to make this very entertaining. So welcome, Steve. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning. Actually, good evening. Where the hell are you today? You're back home?
I am back from Wales, and I'm in London.
So it is good afternoon.
It is good afternoon.
And good morning to Audra from Massachusetts.
Yeah. I'm a masshole.
You're such a masshole. Hey.
So where are you then? Have you moved it, or are you still in New York?
Well, I'm still in New York. I am the director of global sourcing for Indeed.
Yeah.
And building
and where are you currently recruiting for a person for?
Well, from a sourcing standpoint, I am looking for somebody in either Dublin or the UK. K stands for something else that still may come to pass. Yes, it's already taken place.
Oh, I don't know. I think the candidate engagement's not very good there. So anyway, Audra, do you have a question for Steve before this becomes completely nuts?
Well, I was actually going to just have him tell us about his sort of career, but I think he kind of already did.
No, my career, I'm kind of an oddball. No comments, Katrina. I'm an engineer who crossed over to the dark side many moons ago, and I consider myself. I was one of the early folks into the whole digital recruiting phase. You know, one of the original members of ERE. You know, we all know that's a mainstay now, and they've branched out into SourceCon and Talent and every other thing under the sun. You know, I had their first blog. I had their first group. I speak at these hideous conferences, and for some reason, people still listen to me. That's just kind of funny. But one of the cool things is you know, what I like to tell people is that, you know, recruiting is a contact sport, and you have to get out into the communities where you are looking for people. You just can't sit behind your keyboard, post and pray, because most recruiters post and pray, even for recruiting and sourcing. Most candidates pray and pray, and you get a high rejection rate, and you get a lot of spittle.
Yeah.
So if you're not out there in the communities and you know, doing all the theatrical and professional things you need to do, you're just half-assed when it comes to you know, building talent pipelines and recruiting people to your company.
So how long have you been recruiting, full stop?
Do I really need to say the number 27 years?
I don't even think Audra was born yet.
I think she was. I think this T-shirt I'm wearing is. I think this T-shirt I'm wearing is older than her. I don't even think Massachusetts was created when I started recruiting.
That's like my entire career, and that no, not quite. Just a little bit over my entire career, and I'm thinking how many different industries I worked in that time. I couldn't imagine it just being in recruitment.
No, well, I mean, I literally was, you know, software developer, doing a lot of software, data science before it was called data science, all that good, hideous stuff. And, you know, serendipitously, I found myself in recruiting. The story is detailed on some blog somewhere. And, you know, we say about recruiting is most people don't choose recruiting, although these days the barrier to entry is so low that a lot of people seem to choose recruiting. But
that's controversial comment.
Not really. And you've said the same thing. Is that, you know, recruiting finds a way to choose you.
Yeah. No, I fell in it.
Yeah. So that's where I am. So I this opportunity came to Indeed, which is kind of ironic since I know the founders before they started the company. So this is.
What are you doing at Indeed?
Well, I am helping to put together a ridiculously good global sourcing team to take all the best elements that they have to offer, maybe give them a little bit of insight as to, you know, tricks and tips of the trade. And have them go out and just build incredibly lucrative global talent communities and pipelines into the hiring stream. It's every company can do this. It's really not that difficult.
Yeah.
The only caveat is it takes a lot of work, and you have to be really focused on making sure you get the right data into the right fields, and then create the right content. The good thing about Indeed is we've also hired our good friend Brian Cheney to run employment branding. Now, Brian and I have known each other for 10 years.
Awesome, dude.
And as scary as it sounds, we do think very much alike.
Yeah.
And that's, so we have message and vehicle together. And both of us cross over to both sides. You see the things I'm doing lately. It's National Blank Day.
Yeah.
And I just have fun doing it. And I'm literally getting thousands upon thousands of views in those things. Why? It's just quirky.
Yeah.
And
I think people have forgotten the fun. So they've forgotten to be curious, which I think is half the problem. They're not listening, and they're not digging in, they're not finding out information, but they've lost the fun.
I think the fun part...
You don't need to be formal all the time. We can have fun. We can be light. You can still recruit great people and have fun. You've hit
upon the fun part.
Yeah.
Because, when recruiting becomes work, it becomes...
So are you noticing the heckle thing going on the sign?
Yes. Another selfie. Fabulous. Yeah.
How big is your team now?
Okay, I've got to use a very, very fancy calculator. Right now I have 6, and I'm hiring 3-ish more. I've spoken to some people who you guys know. I would like to bring them on board. I have to work something out, but it's going to be it's going to be a global team. Folks, managing the remote pieces are not difficult at all. It's just if anyone asks you how do you build a global sourcing function, well, you not easily. It's all about over communicating. And setting up the parameters early on such that if there's any problems, I don't care day or night, I'm here for you. Just ping me.
Yeah.
And and the folks do that. I want people who are not afraid to tell me, Steve, you're just a crazy old bastard. That won't work. Let me tell you why it won't work. Folks on my team know that I won't snap at them. I may make some pejorative comment in the social space, but that's just all fun and games.
But I think it's the giving the evidence, isn't it? So if they're going to challenge you and say that's crap, to say why, to give you the reasoning behind it, not just an opinion. It's an actual experienced opinion.
It really is that simple. I tend to believe that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. And if you need to make a game time decision that you think impacts whether someone is going to get, what someone's going to respond to you or not, go and do it. As long as it's not illegal, immoral, or fattening, I'm really okay with it.
Did you say fattening?
Pardon me?
Was it fattening, the last one?
Yeah, illegal, immoral, or fattening. I'm okay with it.
Got it.
Recruitment illegal.
Yeah, paleo recruiting.
Very funny. So when you're looking for your sources, what are the skills? Because I get asked this all the time, like what skills should the person have? I mean, I have my opinion, but I'd love to hear yours.
Well, I take a step back and say, tell me something that you do that you think you do better than anyone else. Wow me. Make me go, I didn't think of that. That's clever. I'm going to have to borrow that. Inquisitiveness. It's the proverbial and really overused think outside the box. But do something that's going to make me go, damn, I wish I had thought of that one, because I'm the crazy one here. And that's it.
I think it only has to do with coffee. She thinks she can be bought with coffee. Actually, I think she has a point.
Well, I think, although since Kasha is listening, you don't have making good coffee here requires pressing a button. That's all. Selecting numerous options and then just pressing a button.
Is it proper ground beans?
Actually, it's ground Pete's coffee beans.
Are they good coffee beans? I don't know those. Audra, do you know Pete's coffee beans?
Yeah, smell.
Nutbag.
You just got a coffee blowjob.
Labored.
Oh, it had to be said.
Of course it did. Audra, is there a delay there in Boston?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, fine.
She hasn't had enough coffee.
Yeah.
That's what's
Clearly
going on.
not. Let's see who's on. There are a couple of folks on, not that many. Well, that's really okay.
Oh no, they'll catch the replay because it's the timing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We get loads on the replay.
No, but I think the challenge in building a good social recruiting team is blending a mix of people together. So you don't want everybody to be doing the same thing.
No.
I tell the team, and I think they're starting to believe it. Right from the first day, I said my goal is to turn all of you into Swiss Army knives, where you can handle any position at any level at any time. I'm just reading something that Kasha's.
I was out for a sec, but just so it's clear, when it gets tea delivered to her desk. Oh yeah, actually, that is very true.
And so each people.
This was delivered.
I like coffee, and so in each person on the team, you have to. I'm conscious of bringing on people who, bring different. Life experience. I have vets on my team. I have swimmers on my team. I have a new grad on my team who is his learning curve is just going through the roof. I have an experienced gym membership manager. I have a guy like me who was an engineer and crossed over to the dark side. And I have Newman.
Who's Newman?
Do you know Jeff Newman? Apikoros 18.
Oh, I gotta check him out.
No.
Yeah. You don't know, Katrina, you've read Newman stuff. I know you have.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much goes in.
I know.
So I have a question for you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I was talking to a lovely new client this morning, which I'm so excited about. And they've got quite a young team. So they're all, they're new to it. But what would you give? So your younger ones who have got that, like you just said, that sort of vertical learning curve. What's your best piece of advice for them?
Well,
how they can succeed doing this? And specifically, technical people.
Okay,
so that your favorite, those developers.
Well, they're not necessarily my favorite. I like doing everybody. Maybe I want to rephrase that.
Can we tweet that? Because I can't. Someone tweet that.
Give it to Kasha. Well, she just went ha ha ha. So that'll go. Yes, Mike Recruiter. It is Newman. We don't call him Jeff, Mike. We call him Newman. Anyway, it all depends on who is leading the group and how much skill they have in sourcing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've built up a little bit of capital in the sourcing business, so I know what I'm talking about. But the cool thing about the people that all of us know, those of us who speak at all the conferences, and I'm sure I said this around you, Katrina, at TMA, is what makes all of us, I think, really good is that we all believe we're never good enough, and we're always learning from somebody else.
Yeah.
If a day goes by where I'm not learning, I'm getting some, ping of inspiration from people on my team, I've done something wrong. It's that simple. I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, I told them all right from the get-go. I want to teach all of you to be Swiss Army knives. I want to teach all of you to manage, if you want, how to manage a sourcing a recruiting team. And so I touch upon the politics of the games. I touch upon the bureaucracies and all the things you have to understand to be able to navigate the quicksand known as a corporation.
That's true.
Yeah. Coffee time.
I have a question. How little or how much does your team use LinkedIn versus the other? All the different. I know there's a million options. I'm curious. Do they have recruiter accounts?
Well, we are. Here at Indeed, we have our own thing. But that's really okay. But LinkedIn historically was a reasonably good product, and quite frankly, there are, it's somewhat of a brainwashing thing through the years, last couple of years, and that LinkedIn has folks believe you can't recruit without. I say, when you see what how Indeed is going to be progressing and expanding into the overall recruiting strategies, I think you will be surprised as to where things go. The response rates. We know we know what the Blues response rates are on their in-mall. I don't even call them in-mail anymore. I call them in-mall. I'm going to type them.
INMALL. We get it.
No, this is it. That's it.
Oh, mall. Even better.
And I think what people are missing out, many don't realize that Indeed is not a job board. We aggregate jobs, but we are essentially a digital hiring platform, which allows us to put in front of people who are surfing the internet the right job for the right person at the right time in the right place. And our response rates are much higher.
Yeah.
So I think one of the lures for me coming over was to be able to impact that going forward. Because I mean, again, I have a little knowledge of the space.
One of the things that thank you, goodbye for now. Well, that's fair. We're probably not chatting about something that's relevant. Not a recruiter who just said goodbye.
Well, that's Florida's sail trail, but that's okay.
Sorry?
That's the Florida sail trail. Welcome back. Come back again, guys.
One of the things that I talk about with my clients was with the Indeed, where the candidates are rating the customer, the candidate experience, or, they're quite honest. And I think that's brilliant feedback that's there that a company can use to improve. It's just free information right there.
When you consider,
and I think so many go, oh, there's Glassdoor, let me go there. It's like, well, actually, you do know you're getting rated on Indeed. And then my other big thing that I'm always saying is, if you're looking for a job, you're going to type in whatever that job is. So HR manager jobs, London. Where is LinkedIn? It's not on page 1. Indeed's right at the top there. It's the one getting clicked on. Way at the top.
Because
without pay
per click now and
because I turn that off. I've got ad block. I don't see any of them, thank God. I know I'm one of those awful people that shouldn't have ad block, but I do.
When I come over there, Katrina, we're gonna both turn it on together.
And then I'm going to turn it off when you go.
I know you are, but I'm going to put some software on your machine and control the little bastard.
You're so not getting on my machine. No.
Okay, fine. Be that
Even
way.
if you flash those eyelashes at me, it's still not going to happen. There was an awesome campaign using AdBlock. I don't know what Cash is talking about. Something I've missed, clearly.
Like a recruitment campaign?
Yeah. Say more, Kasha. Type faster. I'll find it. Yes. We should just let her on. She should just wear a headset and join us.
Yeah, we could.
I'll find and paste the link.
Yeah, I mean, we need to challenge her. Kasha, get your headset on and get in here. Or else join the fun.
Yeah, no, she had her own the other week.
What? She had a what?
She had her own show the other week. This is yours.
I know, but this is hers. Come on, Spiky, get on.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I just published a post, which actually maybe people might have got notified for a change on LinkedIn. And I was I used an example. Did you actually get a notification?
I did get a notification because
I didn't get it.
I got blocked. Somebody blocked me. I can't believe it when I write such great posts. But anyway, sarcasm. But it was a screenshot of this person who followed me on Twitter, who quite simply just is yelling at companies, "Can I have your jobs?" and things like that. Like, do you? What's your biggest Twitter fail or your biggest social recruiting fail that you've seen, and why? And
in my life.
In general,
I think the biggest one was when there are a couple of really big ones that I've seen, which are just
nothing rude. We've already had coffee blowjobs.
And of course, you had to say it again, didn't you?
You have clocked my mug, haven't you?
Sniff mine. Funny and thing is, Katrina, you and I have this conversation regularly. Audra, her cheeks are turning a shade of red and rose.
No,
it only belies her constitutionally,
You.
Massachusettsian background. A couple of big fails that I've seen. I remember when Starbucks, the UK, tweeted out to to Ireland, show us that you're proud to be show us how you're proud to be British. That was
That's not good.
that was not good at all. We had, during Hurricane Sandy a couple of years back here in New York, we had many just clueless folks talking about, hey, since you can't go outside, why not go shop? Why not shop online? Well, because, darn it, we have no power in our freaking cell phones because there's no freaking electricity. We can't shop online. And there was another one that happened, I believe it was last year, the year before last, by LG France, LG Phones France.
Yeah.
Nos smartphones, our smartphones don't bend. Ils sont naturellement curvés. They're naturally curved. Sent from an iPhone.
Oh.
But these things, I mean, these are types of things that are just ongoing.
Yeah.
I think the biggest, from a day-to-day basis, I think the biggest fails are the ones in which, and this is something that I know you and I have spoken about, is when you need the person who's going to be customer facing or community facing to you has to have a little bit of horse sense. You just can't, well, that's a good idea. I think I'll, send this out without, there's in carpentry, there's a measure twice, cut once. In social media, it's write the first, read it, delete it. Write the second, read it, delete it. The third one, if you're sure, then that's the one you want to send.
So two things on that. I mean, one is I actually deleted something I wrote earlier because I wrote it and was about to, and I thought, it's just going to open a can of worms up. It's not worth it. But interestingly, so my tweet that made it into the Telegraph, I'm feeling famous. But I put out a Donald Trump tweet, which is pretty rare. I launch into these things, but I got completely trolled on Twitter for that. But it's brilliant because I'm older. I don't care. I just know it's somebody hiding behind anonymity, whereas mine's like fully who I am. You can see everything. So I just was ignoring it. And one person actually had a great point that me as an Australian probably shouldn't say that Donald Trump can't come to Britain. But anyway, but it was like, I do agree. And I was saying to my client yesterday, if you get somebody younger, because people think, I'll just get an intern, I'll get an apprentice. You can't. You need somebody who's going to take that breath.
Yeah, you need someone. Yeah, you need someone else has the moxie to, again, measure twice, cut once, and that's the maxim. Yeah. And the less experienced person might usually is way too flip and quick in their responses, and sometimes you really do have to call PR.
Yeah,
you really do.
I always think the one to emulate is Uber's support. So I was in Singapore and I got in an Uber, and the guy'd been an Uber driver for 2 weeks. It was in the surge pricing and he got lost. So I was tweeting going, that feeling when you're in an Uber, blah, blah, blah. And I was just mucking about. My God, they were back so fast, immediately trying to get me off Uber onto the email, which is exactly what you do. Acknowledge it and get them off where you can deal with it. It was within seconds because I was just mucking about here, but it was, wow, I emulate that. And the same with job seekers when they respond.
I think one of the things I'm saying for years is I actually would like companies to respond to job seekers on a social forum the way airlines do. Some airlines do, rather.
Not VA, Southwest.
No, not or here Delta does a pretty good job here.
Southwest are awesome with that.
Well, again, that's part of their, the customer. You can't say it and don't mean it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, at the end of the day, if you say that customers are our first priority, then they have to be your first priority. There's no real there's no ambiguity in that. It's not a question of authentic. It's honest. It's either it is or it isn't. There's no middle ground. And I think part of the problem is in recruiting, we've adapted way too much from education. How many people graduate from middle school, high school, other schools without really learning how to read or write? They're just kind of pushed on or ignored. That's my fear about the profession, that we turn into something like that. And I've said more than enough times, if there are no expendable people in recruiting. There are people who you wish wouldn't apply over and over again. We all think like that.
Yeah.
But everybody, at the very least, if someone's applying 20 times and they're getting rejected, pick up the damn phone and call them. It's not that difficult, and it's it's at least you can say you've done something that others aren't doing. I mean, don't tell me how unique your culture is if you're doing the same crap as everybody else.
Yeah, I don't understand people's fear of the phone.
Yes, you do.
But I don't. I
It's
really
rejection.
don't.
It's all about rejection. No one likes to be rejected.
About a job.
I know
it's
that.
Exciting.
You know that. You know that. We know that. But
it's like when I was sitting on agency side, boo hiss, back in the day, and having to cold call into HR, that was completely different and completely scary. But to ring a candidate about a job, it's so exciting. I don't.
Kasha puts it good. We moan about applications when we get them, or moan about not getting applications. How are people supposed to want to be applicants? Yeah. Well, actually, Kasha, as you're learning, is that recruiters like to moan, and didn't quite get the redness in Audra's cheek I was hoping for. Oh, well.
that did. Moan. Oh, so she just took you as complain because you're married to a Brit, aren't you? Hey, I know that very well. It's the one recruitment skill I've mastered. Kasha, I am going to slap that out of you.
So anyway, let's go back to, isn't this about social recruiting? Aren't we going to talk about that basics there?
But to be honest, we're talking about people being social. It's not that different, is it?
No. But remember, you may remember from my TMA shtick, I put up I have the 4 E's of social, and they're engage, evaluate, escalate, and explain. Engage is you just can't say, hi, I'm Uber, we're hiring. You have to have some personality, some content, humor, compassion. Make fun of yourself. Lord knows, you and I are really good at that. And I think recruiters with a self-deprecating sense of humor go farther than those who are just I'm better than you.
I wonder if you need that actually to be good on social, is to be able to laugh at yourself. Because it's such a showroom. There's so much bullshit out there that you've got to cut through, and you've got to have a giggle at yourself and be authentic.
Did you use the A word, authentic?
I did, because I mean the old school A word, as when it meant something.
Okay. when an A meant something.
It's my highest value. So I know the word has been ruined, but for me, it's actually being true to yourself.
Of course, Kasha doesn't remember the time she wasn't born.
She wasn't born when you started working in recruitment, love.
Oh, for sure. I'm probably older than her parents.
Also true. Poor Audra, she's not getting the word in. We said this was going to happen. So what are the rest of your E's? So
these are then there's evaluate. What people tend to do is, and this happens. Hiring managers do this a lot. They'll see one piece of shit in a pool full of lilies, and they'll go, "Oh, the whole thing's polluted." I keep thinking of the scene from Caddyshack when Bill Murray jumped in the pool and ate that piece of Baby Ruth. It's amazing what you can do. Don't think that it's all the same. Why are you doing that, Katrina? You're rolling your eyes.
I just didn't need to have that visual at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Well, we can save it for the morning if you prefer. It doesn't really matter. Look at we all complain. You don't know me. You don't really know me. And people will say that about themselves, and yet they will just as easily use one little itty bitty thing to find a way to cut somebody off. That's weak. That's just weak. That's just plain and weak. Especially without even asking. Calling up and asking for an explanation. The escalate is.
Do you sort of mean things like judging on somebody's photos that are on the internet, or
some of the things that you and I put out? If people were to look at you and I.
What's his name?
You and I have put out some dubious things on the internet, and yes, we have, Katrina. I will find them for you.
Oh, awesome!
We'll post them on the next blab. And but you know, it's all we're total human beings, and we have moments. Everyone has moments of indiscretion.
Yeah.
And just if you're not sure, ask the damn question.
Yeah.
It's just not that hard, especially if all the other signs are pointing that this person could do some really good damage here. Don't just say, well, they spelled one word wrong. I don't need them, especially when spelling isn't that great part of the job.
That's why I love the sites like Behance, where the designers can put their portfolios on and they're rated by their peers, and you can just see so much more that you don't even need to worry about you can see they can do their job.
Well, it's like,
I love the way they're all sorts of social sites are appearing.
And that works too. But you take any one of our posts out of context throughout the years, and we're going to catch hell for some of them. But if you look at the whole total of the thing, what message are they pointing to? That speaks to the laziness of the profession. But that's a whole nother several hours of discussion. The escalators, at some point, I keep saying the two most social media tools are the telephone and the handshake.
Yeah.
And at some point, you have to take a relationship as live as it can be. And that's the escalation. I tend to get bored, tweeting back and forth, and I'll just pick up the phone. I'll call somebody, and I go, "Oh my God, look at." Yeah,
and you usually do it with no warning. You watch out, Audra. If you add him on Skype, he'll just suddenly call you, and you're like sitting there. You're still in your pajamas, no makeup on, hair's out here, haven't cleaned your teeth yet, and there's Steve.
And you see what's happened all these years. You see what happened. See how ineffective that was, Audra.
Yeah, now you're on a blab.
Yeah, go figure that out. And so at some point you have to take technology to the human side, and technology is not inherently human. It's like when after we finally first met, things changed. And after we got past our little tiff, things changed. Things changed. I did, Audra. I was being rude.
It was very rude.
But it was
However, he made up for it.
It was
in Dallas at the pre-source con drinks, where he whipped me around and introduced me to 50 people in such speed. I have no idea who they were, but it was awesome. So he made up for it.
And so again, look, I'm a guy. Guys make mistakes. I made a mistake. I'm done with it. You see how much she's holding it against me, Audra? And so you have, you have one chance to make a first impression, but you have many chances to change that first impression. And life, again, folks, immediate stuff. Millennials want things now. I want this and that. No.
Did you just say the M word?
I did. Actually, I put a comment up earlier about in Animals Group, and one of these other ubiquitous horrible articles about millennials. Millennials want flexibility, and I say dependables. That's what I'm calling us boomers, dependables. Tongue in cheek for the depend.
Hang on, wait. Sorry, I just heard us and boomer.
I don't know. I'm old. I can't remember.
I'm just not that old.
I know you're not, Katrina. I probably also have T-shirts older than you.
Just checking, in case you just put Audra and I in that category, and Audra's
way. I know.
The funny thing is, I love that Pew Research. How millennial are you? Because I'm millennial through and through.
I'll say
use that stupid word.
And I'm the same thing. I am a millennial in a boomer's body, and if you want to challenge me to that, you just look at the things I do every week and the things I've done my whole life.
But it's, you want purpose, you want flexibility, blah, 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 blah. I mean,
Who doesn't?
Very different. We just were a bit more scared because when we started, the job world was different, and it has changed thanks to technology.
Substantially. Well, technology and attitudes, technology always typically is the instigator of change. It's like you can't fight all this stuff. But the irony of all the technology that we're using it now, who the bulk of it was created by?
Us.
Not you. You said you're younger. You're not you.
Me. And my lot. I'm not that much younger.
Yes, you are. I can tell around your eyes. See these things?
I know how old you are. What's Kasia written over here? 90% of her really want for everyone else to stop pretending they know what millennials want. Yeah. I actually find that whole the selfie generation, I find that even more offensive than calling them millennials.
I
Because
like
everybody
taking
likes to
selfie
take
sticks
a
and
selfie.
shoving up people's asses. I can't. Show me a selfie stick.
We're going to have to put a caveat on this one. There are swear words. Don't watch unless you like.
Okay.
Selfie sticks up your mouth.
Well, Katrina, you know how I start my first slide in all my presentations.
Yes.
Is this session has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America.
For sure.
Actually, I have a question. Speaking of that, can you define hash holes?
Yeah. Yes. A hash hole is somebody who tweets out something so galactically stupid that it hurts your brain to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I've not heard of that before.
Oh yeah, that you saw that you saw that from one of my presentations, didn't you?
No, I haven't.
I did.
Yeah.
Can you type it in the side so I know what to actually look for? Is there an actual hashtag or?
I love it. I want a T-shirt that says that.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Or the process of typing something so galactically stupid is called hash holing.
So Arthur O'Malley has just joined and he's like, what are they talking about? Bless.
Let me see. I actually might have it here.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Oh yeah, here it is. Let me see if I can bring it up here.
I love it.
Where?
Oh my goodness.
Where?
Can you do your fourth E while you're talking about it? Ah.
There are real hash holes in social media.
No.
Hash holes are when someone tweets out something so stupid.
Yeah.
That you just do this.
Face palm.
Oh my gosh, that's just painful.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we all have. I mean, I've done it. I've done stuff and quickly delete it. But I've seen things. I'm going and I call folks up because you can't have that in here. It's just that bad.
I was on a Twitter chat the other day. Sadly, it wasn't OMC chat. Sorry, and I used the wrong "your." That was enough for me because I'm such a pedant. And it got retweeted and retweeted. I'm like, no, it's got the wrong "your" on it. No. That freaked me out enough. But that's because I'm old school. Anyone,
but
most
Audra,
people probably wouldn't care.
I know. But Audra is like a hashtag. When somebody uses a hashtag, primarily was when someone uses a hashtag that was wholly inappropriate. Like for example, there's a well-known campaign, the hashtag Why I Stayed, which was a domestic violence one. Domino's used it in one of DiGiorno Pizza used it or something like that in there. Why I Stayed. We had pizza. Oh man, did they catch just so much crap from that?
That was a classic where it must have been like a student or a college student that was.
Well, that's the whole point there, Audra. It's you have to, if you're going to be involved in social media as a public facing person, you need to be aware of current events. You can check, you can search, on hashtags.org. You can search for hashtags.
Yeah.
And
hashtagify me.
Yeah, or hashtagify me. There are numerous ones.
You don't even need to look for the news now. If you've got Facebook open on the desktop, it's right there on the right-hand side telling you what's going on. Yeah, that's how I get half my news now. I don't even look for it. It just pops up in front of me.
That's what she said.
But also, I mean, on hashtags going a bit more serious, I was followed by a recruiter from Dell just a few days ago, and they use like a hashtag I work at Dell. But my thinking all the time is, would a job seeker go and look for that? Probably not.
No, what's interesting?
It's like you're wasting of your 140 character tweet.
What's interesting is
use a hashtag they would search for. So do some research.
Well, part of it is you have to go look at the public account first. So let's see. Kasia has a question.
I need you to move in. We can't see you.
Sorry. So is the ability to use, this is from Kasia, question. So is the ability to use social media something that you get as you mature, or do you think it's something you naturally either have or have not? I mean, that's a reasonable question.
So I think you do. You naturally have the ability to be social and to be able to 2 ears, 1 mouth. But I think that not reacting might come with age. Kasia is amazing at not reacting. I don't mind you seeing her react, but most of the time.
Just like you. Just like me.
No, I don't. So like when I was being trolled, I just ignored it. I could have reacted and kicked off, and it was like, well, it would only make me look stupid, whereas they look stupid. I'll just leave it alone.
I would go hashtag I prefer Lenovo and just see what their response is. I would just play with them. But that's me. Part of what I think more people should do should stop doing is taking social media so damn seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, gosh, have a little fun in life.
But also, I think the danger of social media is that it is a show reel. And I'm glad I didn't grow up with it. I'm glad I'm like a digital immigrant who's, come from before it, because of that fact that, we fake it a lot on there. So what's that? Perhaps would you react to? Yeah, she does.
Well, the thing is,
she so does. Yeah.
And Kasha, if it's any consolation, Kasha, is we all at times react fast, but it's the power that's required to pull your finger away from the return key.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know, and that's just it has to be that important to you. If it's not important to you, if you really just don't give a rat's ass. Part of what we've done, at least in our field of social recruiting, is we've created personalities.
Yeah.
And the personalities have a certain verve to them. And let's take Matt Charney, for example. I cannot imagine Matt Charney with a conscience. I'm being facetious there. I can't imagine Matt Charney with restraint. Because he wouldn't be Matt Charney.
No.
Neither would you. And by the way, I'm sorry.
So he is like that in real life. I've never met him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh yes, but in real life though, when he's behind his keyboard, he tends to project much more forceful than he's doing. In real life, he really does. He's one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet.
He's extremely caring, extremely knowledgeable, and you can debate with him as well. So he'll go, social recruiting sucks, and I'll go, well, it only sucks because you're only doing the marketing piece. If you add this, blah, 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 and we'll have a whole conversation and debate it out, and it's perfectly fine, which is really lovely.
And then it'll turn into an article. Yeah.
Before we run out of time, because we are going to, what's your fourth E?
My fourth E is explain. This is the one thing that we don't do in social recruiting. If we find ourselves hiring, or let's say the source of hire from someone did begin on Twitter. Why aren't we telling the Twitterverse that we hired Katrina based on a conversation originally started on Twitter? Why not, create more interest in the community? No one does that. No one does that.
True. That's true.
And whatever the source of hire is, let that source of hire know that it works. I mean, you can say, last week, our talent, and we're going to be doing this in 2016 here. We're going to be tweeting out our talent community statistics on all the platforms. It's part of it's part of the brand. Why do it?
Have you got your own software to track that, or have you got? Because obviously, if you just rely on people to answer the question, where did you find us from? They'll just pick the first, whatever the line is in the box.
We will have software to do it.
You've got software.
I mean, it's much of it is, the overall talent community stuff is ingrained in the CRM that we're implementing.
Yeah.
Platforms, new skills will come on board literally every minute. And new tools rather. So I'm sure some better things, new things will come on in 2016 that will help us. Yeah. At some point, they're going to be, plenty of tools to measure the efficacy and the traffic in specific channels. That's easy.
Yeah.
Those are a dime a dozen. I'm sorry?
No, there hasn't been anybody that's been able to track it that well.
Very reliably.
Not reliably at all, because it might be a drop-down box and an applicant tracking system. You're just going to pick the first one. So there hasn't actually been, unless you manually sit there and change all of the links.
No, at some point you have to trust people to do the right to say where do you first. Don't make the monkey face, Audra.
They're trying to.
Ooh, I smell something stinky
through the application system. They're just trying to get
two separate issues here.
Yeah.
This is my Charney thing. There's two separate issues. There's talent community, and then there's true applicant.
Yeah. Okay.
Do they cross? Absolutely. At what point they cross? That's what's open for discussion at any time. Yeah.
We'll have to do it on another one because we're running out of time. Actually, we're out of time.
Okay, well, fabulous then.
Bless. Have you got any final questions, Audra?
No, but I just wanted to mention that OMC chat is today at noon Eastern time. Is that correct?
That is correct, and our topic is going to be about the easy button. There is no easy button for job seekers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paraphrasing. This is an idea that came from my friend Hank Boyer in Philadelphia.
So what do you mean by there is no easy button for job seekers?
Well, job seekers just think, if I just hit apply, someone's going to recognize that I'm a great talent.
Okay.
No, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Not that easy at all. And again,
I was looking at it from the other point of view that a lot of recruiters forget that some people spend 1 to 2 hours filling out a job application and then don't go back to them.
We've done that show where, from the recruiters' perspective, why do recruiters have to screw things up? Don't they realize that they're human beings behind this?
Yeah. So that's midday Eastern time. That is in 2 hours and 10 minutes, 5 p.m. here.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And it is with our friends Cindy Travella and Tom Bolt. And so you can guarantee that there will be laughs for all.
For sure. I have to make sure I'm back by 5. Am I going to be back by then? Oh, I'll try and be back. I miss them so often because 5 o'clock on a Friday is a bit challenging. Beer o'clock.
Do I
want to chat with Steve or do I want to drink beer?
I'd go for the drinking beer every time.
So, Audra, who have we got next week? And we're back to normal time next week, aren't we? 3 p.m. for me, 10 a.m. for you. God knows what time that is on the West Coast.
Yeah, too early on the West Coast, unfortunately. But we have Lane Sutton, who has done a TEDx talk. He's talked at South by Southwest. He specializes in marketing and employment branding.
Oh.
And he's done all of this and speaks all over the world. And he's actually just in his freshman year of college. So I'm really excited to hear about the things that he's done and his future. I think it's very, very bright.
He's speaking at the Social Recruiting Strategies Conference in January that I'm speaking at, isn't he?
Yep, absolutely. That's where I met him, is at the last one of those.
Katrina, where is that conference?
San Francisco. But I am popping into New York, which is why I was saying, are you going to be there?
Yeah.
Are you still be in New York in January?
I should be, Parson. So you and I will talk offline.
We need to get Audra to San Francisco.
Yeah,
I need to talk to your
my heart in San
It was thanks to Audra that I'm speaking, so I'm quite excited. And it'll be lovely to chat to Lane next week as well. So
okay.
You find OMC Chat on Twitter if you follow that hashtag at Twitter.
Hashtag OMC Chat. Open mic. Yeah, open mic career chat. That's what we do. Okay.
Yep, definitely.
So let's go do something really important now. Let's go help people.
I'm actually off to get a pedicure. And anyway,
not I.
Because I worked all weekend, so it's my own job, so I can. Anyway, Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you too. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll put an X rated on this one. Thanks, Audra.
Or at least an R.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.